Hey guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for a Wednesday. Well, so for early morning, but I woke up a little later, so I had to get some work done before I did this. So early afternoon live review on this beautiful Wednesday morning here, as the sun's actually coming out, and it may not actually rain today for once. But guys, as you can see the title, yes, I'm not crazy at all. This is my first ever 205 live review, as I review 205 Live for the first time on this channel. I was saying for weeks during the road to WrestleMania that I was considering maybe doing 205 Live reviews on this channel after WrestleMania, because 205 Live is actually worth watching now. Ever since Triple H took over, they brought in Drake Maverick to be the general manager, and I think he's the character of him himself has definitely helped the show as well, because it feels like he's just like this coach who's there, who's like just helping these bring out the best in the guys, and the stories just feel real and legit pretty much. Through a win or through the loss, it feels like it matters, and it makes it more interesting. And the show, yes, you have some character driven moments and whatnot, but the show is just solely focused on wrestling. That's what it feels like, wrestling pretty much. But that's what it feels like in these matches. Yes, there's some promos, but it's not all just like a character-driven show anymore. It just feels like it's about wrestling. So I gave it a chance. After a couple weeks after the matches for the Cruiserweight Championship tournament were done, and I thought, you know what, this show definitely has potential to still be a solid show, even without just a tournament going on. So I'm going to take a stab at it. If for some happens the show just falls apart again, it ends up being what it was before, then I'll probably pull the plug on these reviews. But let's take a stab at it and give it a try. So this week's episode 205 Live was a fallout show from WrestleMania 34. Overall, I thought it was a good show. Wasn't, didn't feel like, Raw after WrestleMania or SmackDown Live at WrestleMania for sure. But I thought we had a pretty solid show for the most part, I felt. Setting up for things to come, furthering some feuds that we've been getting already on there to put on some pretty good matches. And a few matches being set up for next week, kind of like how NXT is, because it just pretty much doesn't go to every level with every feud going on, but it makes it feel important, makes these guys feel like eventually, yes, they can prove themselves, and they're building up to get into the next level of contention as well. So that's what 205 Live have to do. It's just not like bootleg edition of Raw, which is a lot of stuff you'll just be seeing on Raw, and they're trying to more so focus on characters rather than the wrestling itself. So that's what we're finally getting here. Again, hats off to Triple H and also Drake Maverick as well for making this all happen. So let's talk about this show here really quick here. So first we start off with Vic Joseph, the head commentator for 205 Live. Is usually him and Nigel McGuinness, but Nigel McGuinness is apparently going to be gone for 2 weeks and replacing Nigel tonight, but apparently he's going to be seen full-time now on 205 Live, which I'm like, all right, I mean, he's good on this guy's good on NXT for what he is. I mean, he's the weakest on NXT in commentary, but he's still good for what he is. But now we're having a 3-man person commentary team for 205 Live. So we have it is Percy Watson, who is going to be a regular now on 205 Live. He was introduced as well. And then the opening match we had was Kalisto taking on Akira Tozawa. This feud's been going on between Akira Tozawa, the Lucha House Party, and the team of Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami, which is probably going to eventually fully solidify Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami as heels. Even though I haven't done a turn alert yet for Hideo Itami turning face cam to the main roster, I feel like it's just one of those turns that's going to warm him up a little bit. His last run at NXT before he came up to 205 Live was as a heel. So I'm not going to really just do a turn alert for him unless they somehow, go back to, which gave me some speculations based off of, what we got tonight, basically, last night. But I thought it was a solid match between Akira Tozawa and Kalisto. There was a moment, there's always been like a moment in these matches on 205 Live where it feels like, something like big happens, and it takes like a big turning point in a match. It makes it more interesting to watch pretty much. And there was a spot there. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened with it, but it was like, I think because Kalisto took some type of nasty bump, and it just started brawling. You could feel like, the personal issues that, these two are having between their two teams, pretty much just come out towards the end of that match. I remember Akira Tozawa did some sick looking table shot, hitting slamming Kalisto to a table or something. It was just like a really sick looking shot there. But then Kalisto eventually would definitely, they would get back into the ring. Kalisto would eventually, on a nice counter, hit the Salina del Sol on Akira Tozawa to get the victory. And next week, it will be Tozawa and Itami taking on Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik, the other 2 members of the Lucha House Party, in a tornado tag match, which I think that match should be awesome. I look forward to seeing that match next week. Now, I don't know. I still don't know yet. They haven't announced it. I thought that they would announce it by now. But there were rumors about cruiserweight tag titles coming, which I kind of don't want to see happen. I mean, it'd be good for the brand if they're going to focus 205 Live on its own brand, but I kind of don't want that to happen because I feel like 205 Live doesn't need to have like a tag team division, in my honest opinion. And also, again, I just hope, since Triple H taking, I hope 205 Live is not like a place where you're stuck there forever. If you're here, you're not gonna be going to SmackDown Live or Raw. But I kind of hope eventually we have some cruiserweights, Cedric Alexander, for example, maybe Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak. Several of them get their chances outside the cruiserweight division as well. If Neville would come back, which that's up in the air. I mean, Neville didn't return all this week. There was rumors of him maybe coming back, so maybe we'll give him a few weeks. Maybe we'll see him next week in the Superstar Shakeup. I don't know. So there's still hope that Neville may come back. He's still under contract apparently. His contract just got frozen, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, good opening match between Akira Tozawa and Kalisto with some great back and forth action. Yeah, Kalisto got the knees up on the top rope, a senton attempt, a series of pin counters. Kalisto bridging out the last one to his finisher. Yeah. So then we're setting up backstage for a match we're going to get later on tonight. It was Mark Andrews and Tony Nese talking backstage before Mark Andrews' match with Drew Gulak. Now, Drew Gulak, was a guy who, kind of like he started reminding me of like a Shayna Baszler a little bit with not just because he's a submission machine and Shayna Baszler's a submission magician, but it seems that Drew Gulak is the guy who tends to take it too far in his matches. And he wants to out to prove that he's the best submission machine there is in the WWE. So Tony Nese's former friend and Mark Andrews both want to get their hands on Drew Gulak, but Mark Andrews beat Tony Nese last week to get an opportunity for that as well. But backstage, we have Tony Nese telling Mark Andrews pep talk and saying that Gulak was his friend, but he's turned into a sadistic monster. If anyone should get revenge, it should be Nese. But he tells Andrews to go get pretty much just kick Gulak's ass tonight, pretty much. So there's a little pep talk there, and then of course it was advertised next week that we're going to be getting the tornado tag match with Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik and Itami and Tozawa next week. So I look forward to definitely seeing how that match goes down next week as well. And then we have Drew Gulak in the ring, and he teases he's going to show us a PowerPoint presentation, which those PowerPoint presentations, were something that was definitely getting Gulak over with the crowd. I was still surprised. I thought that if Enzo was sticking around, I think they were going to turn Drew Gulak face, probably eventually put the title on him. But they're keeping him as a heel, which I think is good for him. I think he's playing a great heel role on 205 Live. He says, but it's not time for that because, of course, he knows that PowerPoints are getting over with the crowd. It's time for the best submission special in WWE to destroy the pop rock wannabe Mark Andrews. He's got a message to send to the 205 Live roster. If you step to him, you will tap out. And then Mark Andrews makes his way out, and we had the match happening. Match was pretty good, and not as good as their match. I mean, it was still good, but not as good as the match that they had in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament, I felt. But the job got done. Drew Gulak wanted to continue to build himself up as like the dominating heel monster. Mark Andrews, still new to the 205 Live roster. Again, someone I felt who was just overlooked in the UK division. He's definitely an underrated talent. Build him up as a solid, underdog babyface. As Gulak beat him with the Dragon Sleeper hold that he has. But then after posing for the win, he gets back down and puts the Dragon Sleeper on him again. And the referees will try and get him to a release and won't happen. But then Tony Nese comes running out, and he tries to get his revenge on Drew to get him away. And then he just him and Andrews just stand there and stare down Gulak as Gulak's like, why are you guys doing this? What do you mean too far? So that was an official Tony Nese face turn. I will do a turn alert later on for that, but not after this live stream. I have a couple of things I have to do, so I'll do that later on. The face turn for Tony Nese. And then we have Drake Maverick backstage talking to someone off camera, telling them he's approved their request to tag next week, but he has some reservations after what happened last week. And it pans to see that it is Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. We haven't seen the Brian Kendrick since he suffered that injury to Hideo Itami's final GTS on Christmas, or the Christmas edition of 205 Live. But he makes his return. Gallagher says that seeking a vendetta against Hideo for injuring Kendrick would be beneath them. Kendrick says, though, he's just happy to be back and that his issues with Hideo are water under the bridge. And but of course, Drake Maverick seems dubious. He's not quite sure what to think of it. As you never know. But that's the thing I try to weigh also, that it looks like we're going to turn Itami and Tozawa heel, but they may, if they do a tag match eventually for the new tag titles, they may make it like a triple threat match between these three teams as well, with the Lucha House Party, Itami and Tozawa, and Kendrick and Gallagher possibly. So we'll see how coming weeks what happens. But the Brian Kendrick is back. I felt long overdue. It's good to see him back. So I look forward to definitely seeing where they go with this, and hopefully it will lead to something good for all three of those teams, pretty much. Then we get our final segment of the night. It is Hassan, what's up, man? He said, I made another rant video. This was the wrong time for Murphy to turn heel. Okay, well respected opinion. I'll definitely talk about that in a turn alert later on. My thoughts of it, but I'll definitely make sure to try to check that out if I can. Cedric Alexander came out though wearing dress clothes after being introduced by Drake Maverick. Pretty much just saying that he how successful the 205 Live tournament has been. And Cedric Alexander came out and he mentioned 2 years ago, we mentioned please sign Cedric. Because of that, on Sunday, in front of his family and friends, he wrestled at WrestleMania and became a champion. He wants to thank us, saying, but we all made this happen with the please sign Cedric chance. So we'll not forget that moment in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. And Triple H came out and just endorsed him. But then Mustafa Ali's music hits and comes out, and it's like, interesting. Now, my thing is there's been a lot of swerves this past weekend from WrestleMania. At NXT TakeOver, we had Roderick Strong. At Sunday, we had Bray Wyatt and Shinsuke Nakamura. We had Tony Nese turn face earlier, but I'm wondering, are they going to try to pull a swerve here? Maybe Mustafa Ali will turn right on here. And I kind of saw it coming, so I'm like, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So he came out dressed in black, and the crowd chants for him, and the champ encourages them. Mustafa came out to tell Cedric something face to face. As his opponent, a representative of the locker room, his friend, Alexander just doesn't just deserve it. He earned it. There's a long line in the back who wants a title shot and wants them to know, though, that he's in that line. So he pretty much yeah, okay, I accept that. You deserve it as well. But then Buddy Murphy's music hits. Everybody's looking around like, where is he? We can't see him. All of a sudden, Murphy sneaked in from behind and grabbed Alexander. And he hits him with his finisher, Murphy's Law. And then, so he lays out Alexander, pretty much turning Buddy Murphy heel, which was weird because he was a heel part of the tag team down at NXT, but then he disappeared for a long, long time until he appeared as a surprise for this Cruiserweight Championship tournament and slimmed down some. So it seemed like for a while they were treating him as a baby face. I didn't do a turn on, but it seemed like this more so solidified. Yes, he's going to be a heel from there on out, pretty much. But I will talk more about it in my turn alert that I will do later on today for both Buddy Murphy turning heel and for Tony Nese turning face. And then they check on Ali, and Maverick check on Cedric Alexander, and then Maverick starts yelling at Buddy Murphy that he was at the front of the line, but there will be consequences for doing this, because Buddy Murphy, had been built up the last 2 weeks, as maybe a possible top contender to who will face the Cruiserweight champion after WrestleMania. So it's obvious that he's want to make a statement, but Greg Back says there will be consequences though for doing this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. This could be a swerve. Like, what if Mustafa Ali was behind this or something like that. And you never know what could happen. And with the swerves happening, we get getting left and right. We'll just have to wait and see what happens down the line. Turn alert on Nice, Murphy, and even technically Paige. Well, Paige, again, I will wait one more week for the Paige turn, only because I know she kind of was a babyface coming out as the SmackDown Live GM this week, but I want to wait and see, because you never know with WWE. I want to wait and see if Absolution, I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to see if the WWE swerves us and moves Absolution over to SmackDown Live, and I want to just make sure Paige not gonna be like a heel general manager or something like that. But I mean, most likely not. But just in case, I'm waiting one more week before I say that Paige turned face. I will be doing one later on for Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. 3 heels and face turns. Yeah, we got a lot of them. Mustafa should have turned. I mean, he could have. I mean, again, I thought he was going to. So I mean, again, you never know. Maybe Mustafa Ali was behind this or something like that. And this is like a bargain return that Ali will get a title shot once Murphy takes out Alexander. So we'll see what happens. But it could be a swerve. You never know down the line. Do a predictions video for the Superstar Shakeup. I will be doing the live stream on Thursday. She's a SmackDown general manager. She's not on Raw. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, with the Superstar Shakeup next week, you never know if Absolution could get drafted over the SmackDown, which I'm not sure if it's gonna. I'm not predicting it's gonna happen, but I'm saying you never know. With the swerves these days, it could happen. So I'm going to give it one more week before I do the turn alert for Paige, just to be safe. Neville should have come back. Screw Kendrick. I mean, I like Kendrick, but I definitely wouldn't mind Neville coming back, definitely. But we'll see what happens if Neville does come back or not. I mean, I heard rumors of him coming back after WrestleMania, but that did not happen. But yeah, so thank you, Hassan, for joining in the live chat. As always, I'll make sure to check out your rant later on. Again, I will do my Eternal Art videos later on tonight. So again, I give this episode 205 Live, the first review of 205 Live on this channel. I give this a solid B. I give this episode a B. So what are your thoughts on 205 Live? As always, your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, hopefully, 205 Live will continue to be, a better show than it was, before the Triple H era. Well, before Triple H took over the show. So hopefully, as long as the show stays good, I will be doing these reviews. Usually probably the morning after 205 Live. That way, I don't do 2 reviews in one night. So that way, I can do my NXT reviews later on tonight. So again, leave that down in the comment section below. Be sure to always click my like, get subscribed to our content on this channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. Again, depending on how NXT goes tonight, since usually the show after the Fallout show after a takeover is for the most part just like a recap show with a couple of just decent matches, but nothing really happens to talk about. So depending on how that goes, may depend if I do my review of NXT tonight or not. But I will definitely be doing turn alerts for Tony Nese and also Drew Gulak. Wow, Buddy Murphy. Again, I'm gonna wait one more week before I do it. One for Paige, and then I want to see also what goes on there. As most likely we'll have, but I'll do one also for Pete Dunne, probably turning face after Roderick Strong attack. But we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks as well. I just want to wait and be sure on those. So you have to do it either after watching my video and shout me out on the turn alert. I mean, if I give time to do it, well, I just have to get back to work because I have some other work I have to get done today. But I will definitely do those turn alerts and do a shout out to them as well for your opinion on it as well as Hassan. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in live again. I'll do that, and then also don't forget tomorrow night I will do my a live predictions for the Superstar Shakeup as well. They'll take place next week as well. So guys, that's it. Checking out. Gotta get back to work. Until then, guys, I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Peace out, everybody.